So it is for you to decide whether literally you want to get your hands dirty like Otumba Gaddafi, or you want to sit in your house and tell yourselves that, well, I have just finished school and you know my tie, I don't want to ruffle my tie, I'm looking for a job. As I have told you before, the solution to unemployment in Nigeria is in 3 simple words: made in Nigeria. So ask yourself, if we are drinking that much wine, how much of it is made in Nigeria? Can you seize that market? If we don't have grapes in Nigeria, can you bring the grapes in and bottle in Lagos and take that market? How much of the rice that is being cooked at those parties is made in Nigeria? Can you produce more of other rice? Because that market is waiting to be taken. How much of the spring rolls and samosa and the flour that goes into it is made in Nigeria? Think, just open your minds. Because all I can do really is get you to decide to take the big step by yourself.
To Sunrise Daily, we'll be talking security first today. Captain Aliyu Umar joins us now. He's a security consultant. Thank you for coming on again today.
Good morning, Shambuli. Thank you.
Well, you know, sometimes just looking through developments last week, if you listen to comments coming from politicians, and then, of course, naturally, the supporters will just queue behind them, waiting for their word before they hit the road on whatever it is they want to do. And then you have some developments in Abuja. You have again in Borno, and you look back and just wonder, whoa, must be tough days ahead for security. But in spite of that, the police then comes up with this one, that they're going about this BCMR to ensure that they contribute their quota in order to make sure that, look, we don't all just sit back and fold our arms and watch things happen, because they may not have been in the front line. But let's start off with that of the police. Getting data from Nigerians about, yes, this biometric central motor registration. They said that's one step that can contribute to all of it. We'll start with that one. How do you see this playing out?
Well, first and foremost, let's understand that the age of security is upon us, globally and nationally. The trend of events in the last 2 years have already underscored that. The resolve or the decision by the police to go PBCMR, if I can put it that way, is actually a step in the right direction, but it's also fraught with a lot of concerns. I do not think it is safe, based on what we are seeing presently and the antecedents we've had, to exclusify a central data facility. Exclusivity in the sense that each agency has its own. Because if you look at what is being pulled together as data, there are actually information about Nigerians, individuals. Okay? And what I would have loved to see was a situation where we had something like one big cloud, and everybody now latches into it. It becomes seamless. Central means it's not going to be exclusively under the custody of any one agency. All the agency can input into it and draw from it. So let's paint a scenario here. Let's say the National Intelligence Agency takes custody of this big database into which the customs, the immigration, everybody can actually upgrade and draw from. So nobody actually has absolute control. You know, it's like what the accountants say. They say who keeps cash cannot keep the records for cash. So if you exclusify it, the road safety have their own, the police have their own, the immigration have their own, the customs have their own. We're going to have a lot of issues coming up. Okay.
But part of the issues that will come up straight away about this one is
yes,
working together.
Working together.
The agencies working
yes,
together.
our security agencies, permit me to say, are painfully antagonistic.
Ooh.
They find it difficult for one reason or the other to work together. We've had interagency clashes.
Is it by design or default?
I will say it's not by design, and I won't say it's also by default, but rather it's a misconstruing of, you know, what your job roles are. You know, it has to do with a situation where one agency feels superior to the other, but there is no cause or no need or no call for superiority because the job briefs are different. Somebody is meant to look after road traffic. Another person is meant to pursue crime or lead crime. Another person actually has his job manning the borders. They all are like children of the same mother. They are all federal agencies. They use the same equipments. They work basically on the same doctrines. But somewhere along the line, you just see them do those things.
Apparently, you know, it's not a Nigerian thing. I mean, this idea, this aversion to working together, as it were, because we remember that in the event of 9/11, one of the things that came out was that the security agencies, one of them already had that information that there was going to be such an attack, and that it was only after the attack had happened that they found out that that agency did not share, you know, with the agency that could have stopped that attack from happening. So one of the things that they worked towards was, you know, people sharing more.
Yes.
Is it that we haven't learned a lesson effectively from that, or we're waiting for our own, God forbid, 9/11 before we understand?
I think it's a people and an individual thing. Individuals add up to become people. It all depends on the kind of leadership you find yourself under. Let me give you an example. If we had a central data depository, and those who are actually going to impute into that depository are the agencies, and they are also going to be the users, you are more or less likely to hoard information. And then the person who is the custodian of that central depository is also not likely to be antagonistic because he depends on you to feed the pot within which this information is kept. Across board, when you look at human beings, even outside this country, there's going to be like rivalry, there's going to be that intrigues, the interpersonal dynamics of human relations. Somebody will want to actually take credit for this or that or this, and he could do it, and it ends up becoming inimical to the state. The big picture is security. We are not seeing what anybody is putting in or taking out. The big picture is securing the whole. So it's actually going to be a system where you have all for one, one for all, as opposed to what I see the police trying to do. The police are trying to have a police, you know, biometric central motor registry. I have concerns with that. First and foremost, you see, the level of sophistication the police wants to take on overnight may not sit properly on their people's sophistication level.
Can you break that down?
Okay, what do I mean by people's sophistication? What I mean by people's sophistication is, could the police probably draw a roadmap and make the average policeman IT savvy?
The average policeman?
IT savvy. He's the points man.
That's the one we see regularly on the
Yes,
street.
the man,
first line.
Good. The man who's going to hold a device and say, "Good morning, Mr. Chamberlain," and is going to impute data or issue a query to that simple device to get feedback about you. Is he IT savvy? From the indicators on ground, I'm not confident to say our police force is IT savvy. from the police command upwards, you could see some IT presence when you walk in there. But on the average DPO and the average police station, I'm yet to see a desktop computer at the counter.